वेलकम फ्रेंड्स, मिरेकल माइंड भारत यूथ स्टडी सर्कल एंड पीएमसी जामनगर में आप सभी का हार्दिक स्वागत है। फ्रेंड्स, हम बुक कर रहे हैं द मॉन्क हू सोल्ड हिज फरारी, और इस बुक के 3 चैप्टर हमने कंप्लीट कर लिए हैं, जहाँ पे जो ऑथर है वो अपनी बात कर रहे हैं, कहाँ से उन्होंने अपनी यात्रा की शुरुआत करी, क्या क्या उनकी जर्नी में डिफिकल्टीज आई और कौन कौन से व्यक्ति ने उनको साथ सहकार दिया। तो इस तरीके से हमने 3rd चैप्टर तक कंप्लीट कर लिया था, और आज चैप्टर है हमारा 4th नंबर का चैप्टर। उस चैप्टर को करने के लिए हमारे साथ उपस्थित है मास्टर क्रिस राठौर। तो चैप्टर का नाम है फ्रेंड्स, अ मैजिकल मीटिंग विद द सेजिस ऑफ सिवाना। तो सिवाना हिमालय की कोई जगह है जहाँ पे ऑथर जो है मिलते हैं एक गुरु से, और उनसे क्या ज्ञान लेते हैं, क्या उनकी बातचीत होती है, इस तरीके से वो अपनी इस यात्रा में आध्यात्मिकता को एनरोल करते हैं। तो इस तरीके की सारी बातें यहाँ पे बताई गई है। तो इसको कंटिन्यू करने के लिए वी आर वेलकमिंग मास्टर क्रिस राठौर। क्रिस, वेलकम इन योर प्लेटफॉर्म मिरेकल माइंड भारत यूथ स्टडी सर्कल। नाउ द प्लेटफॉर्म इज योर्स।
Yeah, hello everyone. So last Saturday we discussed about how Julian Mantel started his journey to find the sages of Sivana, and along his way he found a man, a mysterious man he did not know, and he did not reveal his identity, but still he helped him reach his destination. So he guided him to move along with him, and today we will discuss where he led him into, and how Julian Mantel meets the sages of Sivana. So today's today's chapter number 4, is the magical meeting with the sages of Sivana. So I'm starting the presentation. Is my screen visible?
Yes, it is visible.
Okay.
Yes,
So,
chapter 4, a magical meeting with the sages of Sivana.
yeah. So, after walking for many hours along an intricate path, along an intricate series of paths and grassy trails, the two travelers came upon a lusty green valley. On one side of the valley, the snow-capped Himalayas offered their protection, like weather-beaten soldiers guarding their place where their generals rested. On the other, a thick forest of pine trees sprouted, a perfectly natural tribute to this enchanting fantasy land. So here we see that the two travelers, that is the Julian Mantel and another companion who helped him reach this destination, uh, finally reach a place, a lusty green valley. So on one side of the valley are the Himalayas, and on the other side there is a forest, a thick forest of pine trees. The sage looked at Julian and smiled gently. Welcome to the Nirvana of Sivana. The two then descended along another less traveled way and into the thick forest which formed the floor of the valley. The smell of pine and sandalwood wafted through the cool, crisp mountain air. Julian, now barefoot to ease his aching feet, felt the damp moss under his toes. He was surprised to see richly colored orchids and a host of other lovely flowers dancing among the trees, as if rejoicing in the beauty and splendor of this tiny slice of heaven. Here we see that as they descended along the less traveled way in the thick forest, Julian Mantel could smell the pine and the sandalwood along with the cool, crisp air of the mountain. And when he removes his shoes from his off his feet, he could sense the richly colored orchids and a host of lovely flowers along with the trees. And this scene is really beautiful, as he describes. In the distance, Julian could hear gentle voices, soft and soothing to the ear. He continued to follow the sage without making a sound. After walking for about 15 more minutes, the two men reached a clearing. Before him was a sight that even the worldly wise and rarely surprised Julian Mantel could never have imagined. a small village made solely out of what appeared to be roses. At the center of the village was a tiny temple, the kind Julian had seen on his trips to Thailand and Nepal, but this temple was made of red, white, and pink flowers, held together with long strands of multicolored string and twigs. The little huts which dotted the remaining space appeared to be the austere homes of the sages. These were also made of roses. Julian was speechless. So when they reach a clearing, that is when they reach the final place where Julian wished to go, uh, he sees that the village is fully made of roses, like red, white, and pink flowers, uh, completely covers and actually makes the temple, which is at the center of the village, and even the huts, the houses of the sages, are also made of flowers only. And this scene is astonishingly shocking and surprising for even Julian Mantel, who's not so easily surprised by anything, as he has almost seen everything as he thinks. As for the monks who inhabited the village, those he could see looked like Julian's traveling companion, who now revealed that his name was Yogi Raman. He explained that he was the eldest sage of Sivana and the leader of this group. The citizens of this dreamlike colony looked astonishingly youthful and moved with poise and purpose. None of them spoke, choosing instead to respect the tranquility of this place by performing their tasks in silence. So here the traveling companion of Julian reveals himself. Like he tells his name that he was Yogi Raman. And when Julian sees the other sages, he did not see anyone speaking. Like everyone preferred to work and do their tasks in silence, and they respected the tranquility, the peace of the place. The men, who appeared to number only about 10, wore the same red robed uniform as Yogi Raman and smiled serenely at Julian as he entered their village. Each of them looked calm, healthy, and deeply contented. It was as if the tensions which plague so many of us in a modern world had sensed that they were not welcome at the summit of serenity and moved on to more inviting prospects. Though it had been many years since there had been a new face amongst them, these men were controlled in the reception, offering a simple bow as the greeting to this visitor who had traveled so far to find them. So when Julian Mantel counts the number of sages, he sees that there were only 10 of them. 10 sages lived in this tiny village. But they were all wearing the same red robe uniform as Yogi Raman wore when he first met Julian. And as Yogi Raman was the leader and he was the eldest sage of the sages of Sivana, he was astonished. Like Julian Mantel was he was surprised by how everyone welcomed him, and everyone the all the sages were so deeply contented to look at him, and they all greeted him and welcomed him by bowing to him, and everyone was fully respectful and full of gratitude to see that they had a new member who was who had traveled so far to come here and join them. The women were equally impressive. In their flowing pink silk saris and with white lotuses adorning their jet black hair, they moved busily through the village with exceptional agility. However, this was not the frantic busyness that pervades the lives of people in our society. Instead, theirs was of the easy, graceful kind. With Zen-like focus, some worked inside the temples, preparing for what appeared to be a festival. Others carried firewood and richly embroidered tapestries. All were engaged in productive activity. All appeared to be happy. So here he sees that even the women moved with agility, like they moved very fastly. But this was not the kind of fast or the agile movements that we see nowadays. It was more of the easy type. It was not like they were hurrying because of the stress or tension that they had, and they wanted to do the works fast so that they had to meet the deadlines given by their bosses. It was not like the world we see nowadays. It was of the more easy kind. Like they were moving, so they were doing all the tasks and everything productively, and more importantly, they were doing it happily. Ultimately, the faces of the sages of Sivana revealed the power of their way of life. Even though they were clearly mature adults, each one of them radiated a childlike quality, their eyes twinkling with vitality of youth. None of them had wrinkles. None of them had gray hair. None of them looked old. So everyone were, though they were mature adults, no one had any gray hair or any wrinkles. They were full of youthfulness, and they had a childlike vitality. Like they were their eyes shone with vitality, as we see in a young child. How they how innocence how they show their innocence from just their eyes. Those kind of innocence was seen in these mature adults, and even though they were old, not even a single trace of old elderly people was seen on these stages. Julian, who could scarcely believe what he was experiencing, was offered a feast of fresh fruits and exotic vegetables, a diet that he would later learn was one of the keys to the treasure trove of ideal health enjoyed by the sages. After the meal, Yogi Raman escorted Julian to his living quarters, a flower filled hut containing a small bed with an empty journal pad on it. This would be his home for the foreseeable future. So here, after seeing all this, Julian was offered a feast of fresh fruits and exotic vegetables. And this was the reason that all the sages looked so youthful. Like as we see nowadays, that most of the people don't enjoy these type of food. They enjoy just the young junk food. But this sattvic food, as we say, the fresh fruits and vegetables, are the reason for the secret. Uh, as a everyone must have seen that there was an ad that boosts the secret of my energy. So this sattvic food was a secret of their youthfulness and vitality of every sage living in the sages in this Sivana. And after that, Yogi Raman escorted Julian to his quarters. Like he was given a hut, and which had a small bed and a empty journal on it, so that he could write his thoughts about what he was experiencing or anything that he wanted to write. Though Julian had never seen anything like this magical world of Sivana, he somehow felt that this had been a homecoming of sorts, a return to a paradise that he had known long ago. Somehow, this village of roses was not so foreign to him. His intuition told him that he belonged here, if only for a short period. This would be the place where he would rekindle the fire for living that he had known before the legal profession stole his soul, a sanctuary where his broken spirit would slowly start to heal. And so began Julian's life among the sages of Sivana, a life of simplicity, serenity, and harmony. The best was soon to come. So here we see that this land, even though it was completely new to him and so foreign, but it did not seem like it. He did not feel that he was in a completely strange place. Instead, he felt coming back to home after a long time. Like he felt that he came back to his hometown after many years of work in a foreign land. He felt like he was completely welcome at his home, and it was as if that uh, his spirit would start his spirit was completely going to heal, and he felt that along with the sages of Sivana, he would have a life of simplicity, serenity, and harmony. And the author ends the chapter by saying that the best was soon to come for Julian Mantle. So this ends chapter 4, the meeting with the sages of Sivana. So here we saw that how Julian was welcomed to the place Sivana, and how he saw the sages of Sivana, and how happily and cheerfully they were all welcoming him and doing all their tasks completely in silence. And this enchanting fantasy land was so mesmerizing, and it made Julian really like he was at home. Like he never felt anything that he was in a strange land. So this ends chapter 4. On the next Saturday, we'll continue with chapter 5, a spiritual student of the sages. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Chris. It was very beautifully explained by you. So, friend, here we said that the best will come soon. So very wonderful line it was. Best will come soon. Here, now we are going for meditation, friends. So let us start sitting in a meditation position. Sit with comfortable position. Close your feet. Cross your hands, fingers under your palms. Join together and sit silently. Close your eyes and just be with your breath. Your incoming breath and your outgoing breath. Each and every breath you are aware of. Not just a single breath coming inside without your awareness. Not a single breath go outside without your awareness. Just be an observer. An observer of your breath. And feel the mesmerizing music playing in front of you. Incoming breath and outgoing
आपने
breath.
ना ये कोड डेफिनेटली सुना होगा, पर ये आधा है. Whenever the student is ready, teacher appears. सुना है ना? ये नहीं
Go with the flow, masters.